All right, boys and girls, I'm going to do a quick breakdown here today of how you should be inserting footnotes into your paper that you write for this class and for probably a lot of your college classes in a few years, but pretty much all of your history classes throughout high school. All right, so Colby was asking specifically about when a footnote should be used. The general rule of thumb is that you should use a footnote to give credit to any source that you used to learn about an objective fact that could not be considered common knowledge. So an objective fact that would be common knowledge would be something like the sky is blue. There are 50 states in the United States. Okay, those types of things would be considered general enough that anybody should know it, and therefore you don't have to attribute it to any given source. Okay, so if you were going to use anything else, generally, what you want to do is after the sentence where you have finished using that material, what you want to do is put your cursor there. So in this case, after the word force, like in most places, the British government did not accept this declaration and they responded with force. I got this information, the stuff that is not my own subjective argument, from a source that I got from Gale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Insert and scroll down to Footnote. So what the program just did is it put a superscript right here, and then at the bottom of the page of the footer, it put a number that aligns with that. So now I need to attribute credit to that source. So I'm going to scroll down to my bibliography where I've been collecting my information, and this is the source where I actually got the information. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste that. Oops, Control Z, Control copy, and then I am going to go back up to that footnote, and I'm going to Control V that. All right, so let's show you what happens if I do it again. So the next thing I need to give credit to is after the word French. That information I actually took from the textbook. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Footnote, and now check this out. It added number 2, as you would expect, but there already was another footnote that I left in here for the purpose of this demonstration. What the program just did is it automatically updated that from 2 to 3. So now the important thing here is that you allow the program to do what it's supposed to do. Otherwise, you could really get messed up. Okay, so I'm going to go back down here. I'm going to grab the citation for the textbook, and I want to show you something here as I do this. All right, so if you were using a print source or even an online journal in which there's an author's name added to it, there's one thing you want to do when you put it as a footnote. When you put it as a footnote, you're actually going to take the author's first name, and you're going to put that first. So in this case, I'm going to make it Roger B. Beck, comma, et al. That means there was other people who wrote with him. And now my footnote there is complete. There are some technical things in terms of how you use the page number. For my class, I don't know if it's technically Chicago style, but you do not need to use the URL in the footnote. It just helps for my sake to keep it a bit cleaner. The only thing I've noticed is that sometimes in the past, for whatever reason, it changes the font when you put it into a footnote. So just make sure that this is still Times New Roman. You can make it slightly smaller than the rest of your paper. So my paper is 12 size as it's supposed to be. But if you want to take your footnote and do that, that's more than fine with me, making it size 11 to make it cleaner. All right, so that's the basics. Just one other thing to note. If I were to use the textbook again in this same paper, the next time I refer to it, all I would need to put is the author's last name and then the page numbers that I used. And if it's an article, all I would need to do would be to put the title of that article. So the only time you put the full footnote citation is the first time. It's the first time that you refer to it in the footnotes. All right. If you have issues, feel free to email me, but this should give you the basics of what you need to be doing for this project. And, save this video somewhere, because in the future, you're probably going to want to refer back to it the next time we do an assignment on research. All right. Thank you for watching.